The girl of my dreams would probably have like a really bodacious rack, maybe different hair. Probably, she'd probably be a little more into sports, but truthfully, Robin's better than the girl of my dreams. She's real.
So everyone hates this character, and there's a huge problem with that. Because everyone thinks this movie is about a guy who must overcome the trauma that the cold, indifferent, egocentric girl caused him, and thus become a real man by doing that. Or, on the contrary, a movie portraying romantic experience only in service of male protagonists, validating their resentment. And so began the endless debate over who was right all along, Summer or Tom. But that's not what the movie is about. At all. This movie is about deconstructing every aspect of early individualistic masculinity influenced by popular media to tell an entire generation how they are wrong. Wrong about what romance is, what stories mean, and the delusion of believing we are the main character. Creating one of the most pathetic yet relatable protagonists ever made.
Just because some cute girl likes the same bizarro crap you do? That doesn't make her your soulmate, Tom.
Because I can assure you, you were him once, and probably you didn't notice. Let me tell you a personal story. One that maybe resonates with you. Back in high school I had a crush on this girl, and she was different. She was the kindest, the prettiest, the funniest, the most original. She was special, unique. You probably know this concept born from analyzing media portrayals of women who exist solely to serve the emotional arc of a film's male protagonist. A Manic Pixie Dream Girl is a female character trope often found in films and literature. Crucially, she exists almost entirely to inspire the male protagonist. Her purpose is to teach him to live, grow emotionally, or rediscover joy, without having goals, depth, or an inner life of her own. Manic Pixie Dream Girls exist solely to help insecure men pursue their own selfish happiness, and since their protagonists never grow up, neither do the male audiences watching them. And who do you think stands at the top of the list as the queen of the Dream Girl archetype?
I hate Summer. I hate the way she sounds when she laughs.
Yep. But she's not a mistake, she's intentionally written that way. Have you ever met a Summer in your life? Or have you ever felt like Tom? The answer is probably yes.
Things have been a little difficult.
That's because the Dream Girl trope has its origins in a collective human experience we all go through when we fall in love for the first time, from a place of immaturity. It's not that you met someone like Summer, you created her or him in your mind. Through that first enchantment, not just physical attraction, but the infatuation with a personality that usually doesn't actually exist. The Dream Girl trope is as old as fiction itself. It originates in that first formal infatuation because it's the first time we see someone as real as ourselves, and that overwhelms us so much we turn that person into fantasy. We turn them into a deity of projections to avoid the burden of reciprocity. It's a completely immature, selfish act of seeing someone only through rose-colored lenses, seeing what we want to see in them, and this has been transferred into fiction. Someone recreates this every day, someone is doing it right now, and it's deeply harmful. And as a cultural product, it becomes a paradox between fiction and reality, both feeding each other. Yes, we feel these experiences, but we also repeat them and validate them by consuming them, learning the wrong lessons. The Great Gatsby had already explored this archetype correctly, pushing it to its ultimate consequences, a character who never matures, projecting his illusions onto someone he doesn't actually know.
Can't repeat the past. No. Why, of course you can. Of course you can.
Ending fatally. A punishment for egocentrism and blind idealization, the appropriate metaphor for this immature behavior. And in a way, Tom's story resembles Gatsby's. 500 Days of Summer understands perfectly, just like the novel, the psychological origin of the archetype, deconstructing it with the intention of criticizing it, making the real center of the story not the dream girl, but the creator of that illusion, Tom. And so summer becomes a symbolic want for the character, and just like Gatsby, using it as a tool to reach a more powerful catharsis through tragedy.
Tom.
And that's precisely how the film begins, with the aftermath of a tragedy.
I think we should stop seeing each other.
Just like that?
Just like that.
Tom is an unremarkable 20-something introvert, stuck in dual complacency. He is the young adult waiting for a woman to illuminate his life, to give him a spark, even believing that he deserves it. The film uses several devices to immerse us in Tom's psyche and define the movie around it, while revealing its meta-critique of romantic stories and how stories shape other stories. One of these devices is the voice-over narrator.
Grew up believing that he'd never truly be happy until the day he met the one.
In this film, almost everything we see is filtered through Tom's perspective. Even when we get brief inserts of Summer, she's only understood as Tom sees her, not from her own POV. The narrator, along with every stylistic disruption in the film, is an extension of Tom's mindset. A life influenced by fiction consumption and unrealistic expectations waiting to come true, and also a way of revealing just how self-centered Tom is.
As he listened, Tom began to realize that these weren't stories routinely told. These were stories one had to earn.
And that's why when he completes his arc at the end, he can finally rise above what this voice dictates.
He knew. He was sure of it now. Tom was...
Sorry, I just left, can I... One second.
Summer's official introduction presents her with extraordinary mythology, as a deity, a luminous being attractive to all men, and that's how the narrator marks himself as unreliable and sarcastic.
It was a rare quality, this summer effect. Rare and yet something every post-adolescent male has encountered at least once in their lives.
That line already reveals how summer is designed to represent the universality of an experience we all think happened only to us. Tom is quickly defined as a blinded, egocentric man, resentful due to his dehumanizing and unrealistic expectations.
You know what? Screw her. I don't care. She wants to be that way, fine.
He assumes rejection without even trying.
How's your weekend?
It was good.
Can you believe that shit? She basically said she spent the weekend having sex with some guy she met at the gym. Skank, whatever. I'm over it.
What the hell is wrong with you?
A passive protagonist from the very start. It's not until this scene that Tom not only humanizes Summer, but begins to idealize her.
What happens if you fall in love? What?
Well, you don't believe that, do you?
It's love, it's not Santa Claus.
And that projection on what other people should be is part of what condemns him from the moment he tries to change Summer after she openly tells him her views on love and relationships. There is a subtle arrogance in that exchange, as if he believes she only thinks that way because she hasn't met him.
What is it that I'm missing then?
I think you know when you feel it.
And that's important because the mirror of that conversation is what ultimately demonstrates Tom's evolution at the end. If the conflict of the film is Tom and Summer's relationship, both in the past as they built it and in the present as he tries to get her back, then the deeper conflict and Tom's true objective is established here, to change Summer's mind.
There's no such thing as love, it's fantasy.
Well, I think you're wrong.
And in the final scene, the film makes it painfully clear that he was never going to change her. I mean, Summer did change, but not because of him, and certainly not for him.
I just woke up one day and I knew.
Knew what?
What I was never sure of with you.
That's when he finally accepts he's not the main character. A visual foreshadowing of this is found in the color palette and costume design. Tom is always represented with beige and pale tones. His apartment, his clothes, his office, they represent the monotony of his life. Summer, on the other hand, wears light blue all the time, not just to stand out as the color in Tom's life, it also represents her independence from him. During the honeymoon phase or before they start dating, She wears these light blue tones, but in every scene that she no longer wants to be with him, she either wears dark blue or is visually covered by Tom's palette, meaning absorbing his essence made her unhappy. And when Tom sees her again, she goes back to her usual wardrobe. Tom's story was never about getting over a girl or a broken heart, it was always about overcoming his egocentrism and his solipsistic projection of Summer, seeing her as someone who isn't an extension of himself. But to reach that conclusion and avoid the tragedy of never growing up, the story breaks him first, since it's only through pain that the necessary lessons are learned and true humility emerges. The movie ends the second act by destroying Tom's fantasy, again through its extra-diegetic format, which lets us see Tom's internal world. With a split screen, Mark Webb directs two different scenes, where the differences in framing and composition show the real distance between Tom and Summer. Expectation arrives first because it exists in his mind. Those frames are tighter, more intimate. Reality is directed more openly. In the fantasy, he arrives and is noticed. He matters. In reality, he's just another guest at a party full of strangers. In the fantasy, Tom and Summer share the same frame at the center of the room. In reality, Webb films them in separate shots. And finally, Tom receives the greatest lesson to his complex, as reality completely destroys his main character syndrome. It wasn't him but someone else who fulfilled the task of changing Summer's heart. Someone that wasn't him was enough for her. And it's only after being broken and freed from his complex that he grants Summer some insight, letting us witness her own development. Once he finally understands his memories of watching The Graduate together and their subsequent breakup. That movie also has a protagonist who is lost, searching for answers to his life in the women who cross his path. At the end, after burning all his bridges and achieving a supposed romantic victory toward the unknown, the camera lingers on the uncertainty of their faces. They don't know if what they just did will be worth it. A bitter ending that emphasizes youthful immaturity. Summer, unlike Tom, who can't interpret correctly the film, realizes in that moment that if love means taking a blind leap into the unknown, it is definitely not a leap she wants to take with Tom. Dramatically, his growth is confirmed in the final conversation, once he has transformed by seeking more in life than just having a trophy who loves him. When he tells Summer, sincerely,
I really do hope that you're happy.
without resentment, without vindictive immaturity, accepting that she was never created for him, that she was not a supporting character for his protagonism, and that she has her own story. And in the end, when he meets Autumn, it's not a romantic redemption, it's an allegory for progress. Unlike Gatsby, Tom was able to grow, confront the archetype he was enslaved to, and avoid his punitive tragedy. There is hope in this version of the cautionary tale. Ironically, by abandoning his egocentric delusion, it's the first time in the movie he stops being a passive protagonist and becomes an active one.
Hey.
You again?
Yeah.
And his monotonous gray world lights up for the first time with the light that was always there. His own.
I put up a